productive DeMarcus Cousins.
Well, another thing is if Kevin Durant is talking about leaving or looks like he might leave, you think Boogie is like, that frees up a little bit of cap money for the old DeMarcus there, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Like, that's another wrinkle. There's dominoes to this because if KD stays, you obviously cannot pay 5 players, like, even close to a maximum deal. So, and he's not going to take another veteran's minimum. So it is interesting how the dominoes affect each other if KD leaves. Perhaps Boogie could stay. Don't you agree?
Well said. Good point. But one of the things that is going to show some vulnerability with the Warriors is until he returns, they're going to have a lot of young bigs that they're requiring to play quality minutes. Looney and Bell. And so how productive those guys can be, staying out of foul trouble and finishing at the hoop and making an open shot. Like, these are the type of things that the opponent is going to go up against the Warriors and be like, they're not the tallest team. They're not the bulkiest team. So that's going to be something I'm watching for. Our team's going to be able to be really productive in the paint, scoring against that team up front.
I have another lukewarm take, Jalen Rose. The Bucks' new head coach, Coach Budenholzer, Coach Bud, as he's known, he's going to have the Bucks cooking. And they're going to challenge the big three of the Eastern Conference, the Raptors, the Celtics, and the Sixers. Maybe not when it comes to playoff positioning and regular season wins, but definitely in the playoffs. I believe in Coach Bud. I believe in Milwaukee.
Here's what you should also believe in. Chris Middleton's going to be an all-star this year.
Oh, okay. Lukewarm take from Jalen Rose there.
I have been following his progression over the last couple of years, and I appreciate the fact that not only can he really shoot the basketball, he showed me that he can be a clutch player. He can now dribble and create. He's improved that area of his game. I think along with the Greek Freak and younger players like Thon Maker, they still have Bledsoe. I think that legitimately what you say could become something that's accurate.
I like Giannis. Do you think Giannis could be an MVP this year?
I do. Here's why. When it's all said and done, he's going to be amongst the league leaders this year in points, rebounds.
League leaders in rebounds? Top 20.
Yeah.
Top 20.
Yes. Points, rebounds, and blocks. He's going to lead his team in all of the major statistical categories, and he's going to be an improved jump shooter, which he showed me that he was working on last year. So I think the sky's the limit for his potential, and he's going to catapult himself into the MVP conversation. But how far his team goes and how many wins they have,
that's always a fact.
It's going to be a major factor.
That's always a factor. And also, to win the MVP, you kind of have to almost win the MVP a couple times.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes.
And you know what? Who has a comeback year this year? Malcolm Brogdon. I think
he did disappear last year a little bit.
I think when you brought in Bledsoe, you kind of took away his opportunity to show that he can build off of winning Rookie of the Year. I think he also has a really nice season. Thon Maker. I like their young core.
I have a lukewarm take. The Nuggets starting five is much better than people realize.
No doubt.
The Nuggets starting five is much better than people realize. Just if you haven't familiarized yourself with the NBA yet, look at this starting five. Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, not household names, will be household names by the end of this year. Will Barton, he's one of my guys. I love Will Barton. Millsap back, and Jokic, who everyone knows. He's not a secret anymore. Look at that starting five. They are slept on in the West.
No question. And the Joker, Jokic, their center, 19 a game, 12 boards, 6 assists.
Yeah.
How about that? For a guy playing the center spot, but he's so very versatile, he unlocks the floor for them. You talked about the combination guards they have in Murray, who can shoot it, Harris, who can score it, Barton can get his own shot off the dribble. He's a fearless performer. I think Millsap has a better year. I think coming in from Atlanta, they were trying to integrate him a lot, and he really didn't find a natural fit. I think that now happens this season. I'm really high on the Nuggets, not only as a playoff team, but as a team that people should now really pay attention to as a squad that should be a perennial one in the Western Conference.
So I'm going to go negative on this one. I did say the starting five is slept on. The bench, you can sleep on all day. Who knows what's going to happen with Isaiah Thomas? Then you got Torrey Craig, Malik Beasley, Trey Lyles, and Mason Plumlee.
But if you look at their starting lineup, they have guys that can fit with the second unit.
That's true.
So
they're not going to do wholesale substitution.
Correct. You could take in and out with Harris and Murray. They can be the primary ball handler. Will Barton can get you into your offense. And again, I think a lot of that has to do with when you're in the West, that's where it has to start. Look at the Golden State Warriors. Like, we know that they're going to start 5 All-Stars. You look deeper into the squad, you're like, okay, Livingston can ball, but he's getting older.
Iguodala, same thing, yep.
You know, West is retired. They don't have McGee anymore. So having a stout starting 5 is the first step. Now, if they could get Michael Porter Jr.
That's what I was about to say. Like, the thing about the Nuggets is they took a flyer on draft day.
Smart. It was really a good decision.
He could not play a game in the NBA, or he could be the MVP.
Correct. And so he's going to be, I think, the key player to either catapult them from like lower end Western Conference playoff team to, if he can live up to his potential, then that's going to be something special happening.
They also have the luxury of not needing Michael Porter Jr. They don't have to rush him back. They're gonna ease him back. Might even like redshirt him this year and play him next year.
And also, do you think you can't just gloss over something you said? Isaiah Thomas. Okay, now, for those that haven't been paying attention, it's been a rocky, turbulent last few teams and few couple of seasons for Isaiah Thomas. But coming off a hip injury, now a full season being removed from it, I think he's going to be a lot better, more familiar with the coach.
Is he healthy? No one said Isaiah Thomas looks great in practice. He's 100% healthy. You're going to see the old Isaiah Thomas that you saw in the Celtics. No one has said that in any reports.
True. But in the defense of Isaiah Thomas, also for national consumption, we don't talk about the Nuggets at all. So you haven't heard much about what's going on with their squad. And I am happy that he gets to reunite with the coach that he had in Sacramento, now in Denver. That level of familiarity with his head coach is going to be something that can possibly unlock his game and get him back playing at a high level.
I've got another lukewarm take, Jalen Rose.
I like these.
This is bad news. Either the Pelicans or the Spurs are going to miss the playoffs.
Oh, it's the Spurs.
If you look at my Western Conference playoffs team, Warriors, Rockets, Jazz, Lakers, Thunder, Nuggets, Blazers, and the Pelicans or the Spurs. I think the Pelicans miss the playoffs.
No, it's going to be the Spurs.
I think it's going to be the Pelicans.
Here's why.
I'll tell you why the Pelicans when you're done.
I'm going to tell you why. Who plays point guard for the Pelicans?
Point guard for the Pelicans, Drew Holiday.
Who plays point guard for the Spurs?
Used to be Dejounte Murray, but then he's hurt.
Patty Mills.
That's right.
They're going to miss the playoffs. And here's what's going to happen. They're still going to have a good year because they're in the West. DeMar DeRozan's still going to put up 20, 25 a game. LaMarcus Aldridge's still going to play at the All-Star level. Pow! But here's the thing. When you look at all of the teams that you just listed up there, great point guards.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to be out 1 or 2 games, and they're going to get a lottery pick. And they're going to take a good player like they always do. They're going to nurture that player. And before you know it, the Spurs are going to be right back in the conversation. But this is the first year. No Timmy, no Manu, no Tony, and no Kawhi. There's going to be an adjustment period.
If you're on the outside looking in, do you know what people start talking about? Is Pop going to retire? That some people are going to start talking about if they miss the playoffs. We'll keep an eye on that, but that's obviously way down the road.
If he did retire, and by the way, he has a terrific staff. Like, there's San Antonio Spurs employees basically in every team around the league, whether it's front office or head coaching, but just a wild card. If I'm the Spurs and I'm going to lose Coach Pop, you know who I go after? Avery Johnson. I know he has a great job in Alabama, and I'm not trying to
They retired his number, didn't they?
Situations, but I'm just saying, he won a championship there. He won Coach of the Year in Dallas. He's familiar with what they like to do. Just saying.
Am I crazy? Didn't they retire his number or something?
They did. Interesting.
Coming up next, I'm going to stop being a Die Easy fan, and I'm going to tell you which team I'm going to dedicate this season to being a die-hard fan of. Maybe.
Stop it.
You got to give the people